Hello everyone, this is Pamela Yao again, and today we're going to be learning about how a man is created on the inside and how a man and woman are created differently. Okay, I'm going to start out with a little story here. I had stumbled across a program where young men and young women were sitting across from each other. Okay, and they were asking each other questions about relationships. Okay, and I remember the young man asking, let's see, where is it at? Okay, this is what he asked. After a breakup, why does it seem that a man can't shake his loneliness, yet a woman seems to be able to get on with her life? Okay, and I'll never forget these guys' faces. They were, their mouths were wide open, and they were, their eyes were real big, just waiting for this answer. They wanted to know how that could be possible. And anyway, the girl replied back, it's because she feels confident in herself. Well, I knew that her answer was the farthest from the truth. Okay, it's not that she feels self-confident so she can, get on with her life. She doesn't feel lonely. Okay, and the reason, okay, I was wondering, does anybody know that answer? Do you know that answer? Okay, no. Okay, the truth is that a man was created alone, okay, and a woman was not. A man was created alone, and a woman was not created alone, okay? So let's look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. All right, here we go. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. So he had created the man was alone, he felt alone. I will make him a helpmeet. I will make him an helpmeet for him. So he will make him a woman who's supposed to be his helper. His helper. Okay, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get in, not this study, but the next study, we're going to get into what the woman's responsibility is. Okay, how she's going to help her man get to where he's supposed to be in God. Okay, how to get him there. And like I said, God said, okay, it is not good that the man should be alone. It's not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. Okay, and it's weird because this just came to my mind, but it's saying it's not good for him to be alone. But if you look somewhere in the New Testament, I don't really remember. Maybe one of you could look it up while we're going through the study. But it's one that said it's not good to marry. So I think by the time Jesus came, everybody was screwed up already. So anyway, let's get on with this. Okay, so we know, okay, a man is created alone. He feels lonely. A woman does not feel lonely. Okay, so okay, he is created lonely, and he needs a woman to fulfill this need, okay, of him being lonely. And that's why, if you notice in relationships, I've seen this over and over and over again in relationships where a man and a woman will split up, and then I just lost my train. I just lost my train of thought. I'm so bad about that. Okay, I'm sorry. A man and woman. I know you better. You guys are making me laugh. That's what it is. Okay, I can hear these little comments over there. Okay, so a man can quickly get into another relationship when he splits up with some, the one that he loves, because he's alone. If he feels like that, it's not going to happen. You know, he's got this destiny, you know, he's got this destiny. And if it's not going to happen, you know, he feels that need to move on. And it's really hard to put it into words, okay? Or a man, say, you know, him and his woman splits up, and he ends up in the meantime, you know, a few months goes by, he sleeps with someone, and then she finds out later, and they get back together, and she'll say, you know, how could you have done that if you really loved me? How could you sleep with somebody else, you know? And I see that going on in relationships also. Okay, so let's keep going here. Okay. And remember, if a man's foundational needs are not met, which is, we've learned that, praise, encouragement, and comfort, then he can be in a relationship and still feel alone. I mean, I've been in relationships where I still felt alone. I wasn't getting my foundational needs met, and which is desire. I mean, they just didn't know how to, you know, some people just don't, we don't know what we're doing, okay? So, maybe some do. I never did. Okay. I remember some years ago, a male friend of mine asked if I ever felt lonely. He said, don't you ever feel lonely? And I replied, no. He then asked if I have ever felt lonely in spite of my large family and many friends. Okay. I thought that was strange because he also came from a very large family like I did, but he still felt lonely. He expressed how he felt lonely inside. Anyway, I told him I don't feel lonely and that I never felt lonely. You know, it just seemed strange to me. Okay. And then I can also tell you when I remember talking to a high school boy, okay, and he was saying, you know, I guess I'll never find anyone, you know, and that, I was taken back by that, and I thought, gee, I told him, you know, you're just in high school, and, you know, you got school to think about. You know, I told him he still has a whole life ahead of him, and, but I realize now, okay, looking back at that conversation, that he was expressing what is naturally inside of him, which is loneliness. He was already feeling lonely, and he was in high school. And I'll tell you what, one time I was, my son and I was going somewhere. He was sitting in the back seat, you know, and he always stared out the window and just kind of thought, you know, he's always in deep thought whenever we would travel. And he said, and you know, I bet you he was probably maybe 4 years old. I bet you he was between 4 and 6, if even that, okay? And anyway, I wanted to tell you, and then all of a sudden he said, I want to know, or I wonder what it feels like to feel love in my heart for somebody. And I was like, what? I mean, I didn't even know what to think about that, you know? And then I mean, could it be that he was feeling lonely inside? I mean, although he was around all of us, and, you know, he had plenty of love, and I mean, even at that age, expressing a loneliness, you know? And give me just a second here. Okay, we're going to look at the male species as a whole. Okay, what I've observed is that it seems to me, when observing the male species, that their very existence is to get a wife and a family. Okay, you can ask a child what he wants. You can ask a child what he wants to be when he gets older. Okay, and the girls will usually say they want to be a nurse, you know, they want to be a caregiver, they want to be a mama, they play with their dolls, you know, a nurturer, they want to be a queen, they like to dress up, you know, they want to be desired. And then you can ask the boys, you know, what do you want to do when you get older? And they'll say, you know, I want to be a superhero. And so they feel the need to be a protector. You know, they want to be a doctor. You know, they want to also nurture, take care of their family. They, yeah, they just want to be the hero. You know, they're just so different. And then, you know, they get a little bit older. And anyway, in my family, this is what all my brothers, I would hear probably, and it wasn't just my brothers, I hear this a lot. They get older and they all want to be a gynecologist, you know. Who here wanted to be one? Come on, be honest. Oh, check that out. Only 2 of you raised your hand. Okay, Rick and Carlos. You guys are the only 2 single people here. Uh-huh. Yes. And look at the married people. You guys didn't say anything, okay? And I can tell when I ask that question, the married guys goes like this. They look over at their wife, you know, to see if they're going to get slapped or whatever, you know. She's looking like this. Yeah, you better not say it, you know. So, anyway, I don't even know why I got off on that. I'm sorry. Oh, did you hear Fabio? He said, or they want to be a proctologist. Okay, yes, Fabio. Okay. But you are right on that, okay? But I don't know. How come we all got off on that again? Well, I don't know. Okay. Maybe because we're talking about relationships, okay? And this is all true stuff, okay? So, okay. I gotta focus back here, okay? And, you know, from what I've observed also is when, say, there's a couple and one of the mates pass away, I have observed that usually it's the men that they end up in a relationship very quickly with someone else, and the people that are looking on to this, the women, okay, women will say, how could he sleep with someone else so soon? I mean, he couldn't have loved his wife. I mean, it's only been 6 months and he's with somebody else already. Okay. But, you know, the reason for this is because a man does not equate love with sex. Okay. And like I said, he'd rather have sex with the one he loves, but he doesn't equate sex with love. Okay. And he's lonely and he needs somebody. Okay, where a woman is created differently. Okay, so I just wanted to get that out in the open. I just see that going on all the time. Okay, let's see. And I wanted to talk a little bit about hoarders and why I believe some people become hoarders. I believe, okay, so from what we've learned, you know, a man, his existence is to have a family and to not, you know, I mean, it takes a woman that does the right things to help him through his loneliness and everything else, you know. But I've watched programs on hoarders. I know of people. Yeah, so anyway, my take on it is that a hoarder feels as if their very existence and what they're created for is shattered and gone. Okay, their very existence and what they're created for, and they feel like they have no reason for living. Everything they're living for, everything they've been created for, everything that's inside of them that needs to happen and come out. I can see, well, anyway, that's my take on it, okay? I can just kind of feel that, okay? So, I want to read a song. It's a song by Michael Bolton, and it's called Completely. And I like reading these songs. I love song lyrics. I get into them because they really speak. They speak their heart, what they're really feeling, and what's going on inside, you know. So anyway, I'm just taking back my song lyrics. So anyway, okay, this is Completely by Michael Bolton. Okay, he says, completely, I want to give my love completely. I'd rather be alone than be in love just half the way. I want to find someone that I can trust completely. Want to give my heart completely to someone who'll completely give their heart to only me. And when I find that one, that's when I'll fall in love. Completely, not half but whole, with heart and soul. Completely, not in between but everything. Completely, that's the way it's got to be, the way I want someone to fall in love with me. And then he goes on to say, forever, want to feel the word forever. I know there'll be somebody there forever by my side, and when that feeling comes, that's when I'll give my love. It's all or nothing at all for this heart of mine, and I won't give up my heart until the day I find someone who can be someone who loves me the way I need someone to fall in love with me. So anyway, here, you guys can read that. You know, I know I didn't read that very well, but anyway, I'm just trying to hurry with the study because I know men find it difficult to stay in a long conversation. So anyway, join us again. Okay, we're going to be learning the male as a protector, and of course the responsibility of a woman. Getting the man to move or do what you want him to do. The way he, you'll see how you can approach him in a certain way, and he'll understand what you're saying. Okay, because they don't usually understand what you're saying, believe it or not. Okay, trust versus confusion, and when a man wants you to change your body. So that is it. I'm going to turn the video off, you guys, and then we'll go eat some cookies or something, huh? Have some coffee. So, all right, until next time.